Hello everyone. I realize it's been a while since I've made a YouTube video, and in my last video I said I was going to read all of these Sister Souljah books in preparation of her new release, and then I never followed up. So I hope to make good on that promise today. The details of the books might not be as fresh in my mind, but luckily I found some very detailed notes that I took. So I'm going to try to wing my way through those notes. So first of all, I read The Coldest Winter Ever. And again, I had read this in my early 20s, and I reread it last year. And I was kind of worried that maybe I had outgrown this storyline, or, I didn't know what to expect. But I did still like it. I feel like I related to it a lot. The story focuses on the main character, Winter Santiaga. It's kind of like a coming of age story, and it's also a cautionary tale. It focuses on her life from age 13 to 25, but it's mostly about her in the age of 15 and 17 range. So Winter is like her dad because her dad is a very good looking, hustler type of guy. He's actually a drug dealer. He's got police on the payroll. He has family members working for him. And the book kind of follows the storyline of her dad, her mom, and Winter. It's a cautionary tale because it basically is trying to show that, drug dealing leads down two paths, prison or death. And that's basically what happened in the book. So Winter's mom is described as very good looking but obsessed with her looks. She got married really young at the age of 14, and she just kind of depends a lot on her husband for her happiness and for her security. And so I think that Sister Souljah was also trying to make a point with that character. So Winter is like her mom because she's very obsessed with her appearance and materialistic, but she's also like her dad because she's a hustler. They also have a younger sister. Winter has a younger sister named Porsche, and then even younger twin sisters, Lexus and Mercedes, which kind of shows what kind of family this is. Those are very cute names, but I'm just trying to say, they're very, obsessed with status and material things. So the basis of the story is they live in the projects of Brooklyn, New York, because the dad is a drug dealer. They have their apartment decked out, red carpet, nice furniture. They all have nice clothes, things like that. But they move out of the projects and into the suburbs, and they have this huge house. They're trying to better their life and have a safer environment for their family. However, the dad is losing touch with what's going on in the hood and his crew and things like that, which his business is dependent on. So eventually he loses touch kind of with what's going on in the streets, which is in essence very dangerous because now a younger generation of guys was coming up trying to take his place. So there was kind of like a turf war, which I think is an interesting concept because it's something you don't really think about. The younger generation kind of pushing out the older generation and how it happens. So one day, the mom and the dad, Ricky Santiaga, were, driving together, and somebody shot into the car, and the mom was shot in the face, and this had devastated her and the whole family. But the mom was very into her looks. I mean, anybody would be devastated by that, but it kind of seemed like Sister Souljah was trying to say, this person was placed a lot of value on her looks, and then, when the looks were gone, she just kind of fell apart. So eventually, there is a drug bust at the Santiaga household, and Ricky Santiaga goes to prison. Um, all of their money gets confiscated. The kids are separated and taken into foster care, and the mom is just totally devastated. So she ends up spiraling, into this depression, and she just becomes like a drug addict. So she's ends up being strung out on drugs. It's crazy. Winter, she tried running from the foster care system and tries to navigate the streets and living on her own by herself. So she just goes down this path to get money, and she's not interested in finishing school or thinking about the future or anything like that. Actually, she ends up getting involved with another drug dealer. And apparently, the person that she gets involved with was one of the guys that tried to, who turned on her dad. It's a lot of drama. I was pretty much exhausted by the time I finished this book. It's like a roller coaster. I mean, some people thrive on drama, and I thought it was fun and everything, but it was just, I don't know, kind of stressful as an adult. I feel like when you're younger, maybe you're more of a thrill seeker and it's more exciting, but now it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, there's so much to lose, and it's just, oh, I don't know. It was a crazy, crazy story. So my reflection on the book is that, the part about the mom being shot in the face really resonated with me, because when I was younger, I was hanging out more with people who didn't have a 9-to-5 job, some of them drug dealers. And, from a girl's perspective, it's like you just see the fun part of it, the glamorous part of it. The guys are buying new clothes or buying new things, and you're going out to dinner, like whatever. I didn't, really have to see the other side of it. It's all fun and games until your house is getting raided, or your kids are getting taken away, or you're going to jail, or you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, or you're getting robbed. Like, these are all real things. And so it's just, when you're young and naive, it's one thing, but once you know the realities of that life, it's just kind of terrifying. And there came a point where I was like, I don't want to be around anybody who's, where there might be like a raid, or like I have to watch my back or anything like that, where I feel unsafe. So I think that that's the point of the book, is just, this lifestyle, it's all fun and games sometimes, but there's a harsher reality, bigger consequences. The book takes place in the 90s. I don't know if I said that. I feel like a lot of things have changed since the 90s, so I think it's important to say that this was taking place in the 90s. Another character is Midnight. He is an immigrant from East Africa. He's from Sudan. And I think it's interesting that Sister Souljah kind of paints him as like this upstanding guy, which is like conflicting, because he's an upstanding guy and he's educated. Like, he likes to read a lot and things like that. But then he's a drug dealer. He names like a bunch of books that she should read, that Winter should read, because he's a little bit older and he's kind of like mentoring her. So I took note of those books as well. I thought it was also interesting that Sister Souljah wrote herself as a character into the book. In the book, she plays herself, but she's kind of like an activist and like a counselor. So she gives these talks to, I think, like a male group, or something like that. And Midnight is one of her followers. So there's so much more drama packed into the book, but I'm just giving you the broad overview. So that concludes The Coldest Winter Ever. A Deeper Love Inside is kind of like a spin-off, and it focuses more on Winter's younger sister, Porsche. And this, to me, read as a young adult book. It was very different from this. This was more like it took place in the projects. It was like drug dealing. It was like very a fun read, but it was more about the streets and things, street life and things like that. And this was like, I don't know, it was weird. But I pushed myself through it. It was all right. I wouldn't say you need to read it. It has barely anything to do with this. It just kind of talks about how when the kids went to foster care, and her experience, how she like kind of ran away from it, and she found refuge with like, I don't know. It was really weird. I don't even really remember all the details. I just remember it read very young adult like. So then we get to this, Life After Death. I was so excited to read this. And it's supposed to be the sequel to this. It literally had nothing to do with this. It was like a different writing style. It was supposed to be based on Winter Santiaga after she got released from prison. But it went so haywire, like so off the rails. It was like the way that Winter spoke, like apparently her dialect changed. It was much more choppy. I think Sister Souljah was trying to make it like she came out of prison harder and she was uneducated or something. I don't know, but it was just really bad. And I did not see the Winter Santiaga from The Coldest Winter Ever in this book at all. She could have been a different character. And the writing seemed so immature. It seemed like a YA book. However, the theme, and there was a lot of vulgarity, a lot of explicit sexual things, and it was just like, where is Sister Souljah going with this? Like, why did this book need to be written? So it was such a letdown. It was so weird. It's talking about like heaven and hell, and Winter was in love with like the devil, and she was like a serpent, and the devil was like a monkey, and they're having sex. It was so bizarre. I have to be honest, I had to force myself to get to chapter 5. And then I quit reading it after that because it was just a waste of my time. It was a waste of my energy. I'm not interested. And I don't even want this book in my collection. I want to get rid of it. I was so disappointed in Sister Souljah. I probably will never read another book of hers. So now I'm stuck with this book that I really didn't even like the storyline. I've never read a book talk so much about like sex, and like it was just really bizarre. I don't get what the point of this was. So I felt guilty because in my video I had said it was a very anticipated book, and then it was really bad. I wish I would have gotten on here sooner and told you, don't buy it, don't read it, it's terrible. But now you know. So that is it for the Sister Souljah little trilogy. Although that was disappointing, I am reading Will Smith's memoir, and it is so good. I'm almost done. I only have a little bit left, and I will probably do another review on that. That one is much more fun. I am partial to memoirs. I'm partial to nonfiction because I don't like these made-up stories that offer absolutely nothing. There's no substance. But if you read it and you liked it, or if you read any of these, let me know what you thought. Bye.